There are plenty of other professions that get paid a salary that is comparable to doctors or even higher. Hey everyone! So a lot of people think that doctors make a lot of money, and some people may be attracted to this profession due to its potential to earn a high income. So in this video, I want to break down how a doctor's salary compares with other highly paid professions. So let's start with what it really takes for doctors to earn that high income. So doctors have to go through an additional 4 years of medical school after they finish their undergraduate degree with no pay, which delays their time to build wealth. Let's not forget the significant amount of debt they accumulate. The average annual cost for medical school in the United States is about $35,000 per year. For out of state, it's about $59,000 per year. And a lot of people have to go out of state because medical schools are so competitive that they need to apply elsewhere. For private medical schools, it's even more. It's $61,000 per year. So according to the American Medical Student Association, the total cost of medical school in the United States amounts to around $800,000 in expenses, overall expenses. And this also includes lost opportunity earnings. A residency program can be between 3 to 7 years depending on the specialty. And when you are in residency, you are not getting paid the normal salary that people think doctors are getting paid. The range was about 40 to 70K per year, depending on what hospital or healthcare system you're working for and your location. Once you finish residency and become an attending, that's when doctors can make a high salary. According to the Medscape Physician Compensation Report for 2021, the average annual salary for primary care physicians is $242K per year, and the average annual salary for specialists is about $344,000 per year. That's a very high salary, but take into account it takes a long time for doctors to build up to that salary when they are finally an attending. And that's just an average salary. It depends on what specialty you are in, whether you're an employee or you're self-employed, and it also depends on other ways you're being compensated for what you do. As you can see, based on these numbers, doctors get compensated very well, but they put in a lot of hard work, long years of not getting paid well, and they accumulate a lot of debt in the process and delay their entry into the workforce to build wealth. The government data shows that healthcare dominates the salary ladder, but how does it compare to other highly paid professions? I think one thing most people don't know is that there are plenty of other professions that get paid a salary that is comparable to doctors or even higher. My personal experience comes from the San Francisco Bay Area, which is a tech hub. And please keep in mind that the San Francisco Bay Area pays about 41% higher than the national average. So what I realized is that people who work in tech have the potential to earn high incomes that are comparable to doctors without going through years of school and residency and accumulating significant debt. There are 3 tech jobs that I would highly recommend. These 3 positions that I would recommend are software engineering. It's actually something that I seriously considered pursuing before medicine, but my stepdad had told me not to do it because he thinks that I would get too many gray hairs from it. But to be honest, medicine will definitely make you lose your hair and give you gray hairs. Just FYI. The second position that I would recommend is product manager. There's a high demand for being a product manager, and I think this is a great role. You get to be really creative. You get to lead the development of the product from conception to launch, and I think that's really cool. You get to be part of the strategy and the vision for the product. The third position that I'd highly recommend is becoming a data scientist. This is definitely hot right now, especially with all the AI and new technology that we're building. I believe this is the future, and these three positions are very well compensated, and I think they're very good careers to have. I don't remember these numbers on the top of my head, so I'm going to go into Glassdoor on my laptop and have a look at what the average salaries are. A lot of the publicly available information on salaries, it's dependent on the data that they're able to collect from people who are willing to volunteer that information. So it is definitely skewed based on that. So what I did was I looked for certain salary numbers, but I asked my friends who are in these roles, and I also asked my friends who are recruiters to see if these numbers are at least close to the numbers that they are seeing. So let's start with software engineers. Software engineers can get a job straight out of college without having to do additional degrees, such as pursuing a master's or a PhD. Straight out of college, software engineer can make about $120,000, and you can start accumulating wealth early on. So this is why I'd highly recommend pursuing a career in software engineering. It is in high demand, and I think you'll have a very good, lucrative career for a long time. And one additional thing is all the software engineers I know, they love their jobs. It seems like a lot of software engineers are very happy. Take into account, this is just the base salary. It doesn't account for bonuses and equity, stock options. Looking here, a software engineer can make about, at Google, $145,000 per year. And the problem with these numbers, keep in mind, is that they're collecting the data for all software engineers, and they haven't separated out the different levels of software engineering. There could be a software engineer with 10 years of experience grouped in with a software engineer who just graduated from college. Like I said, for Google, the average salary is about $145K, but that can range from between $66K, which I think would probably be an intern salary, to $454,000. That's more than what a lot of doctors make. Product managers, which is another role that I highly recommend, they get paid very well as well. When I looked onto Glassdoor, at Google, a product manager in the Bay Area on average can make about $167,000 per year, and it ranges between $61,000 and $266,000 per year. And I know that that depends on the level of experience. $266,000 a year, that's more than the national average for a pediatrician. The third position that I'd recommend in the tech industry is data science. I think you need to pursue a higher degree to become a data scientist. The data scientists I know have PhDs. At Google, a data scientist makes on average $150,000 per year, and the range is $103,000 to $239,000 per year. So after many years of experience, a data scientist can make a salary that is competitive with an attending physician's salary. So here you have it. There are so many other highly paid positions without having to go through years of school and residency to get a high salary. So this was just an opportunity to provide some insight into other highly paid positions that are not in medicine, and I wanted to just conclude with some final thoughts. We know that all doctors make a very comfortable living. There is a high earning potential, but it is definitely not without sacrifices. Doctors work very hard. They work overtime that's unpaid, and it's not an easy career, and you have to go through years and years of school and residency where you don't get paid that much. So my advice is definitely don't go into medicine for the money. People who should go into medicine are the people who can't see themselves doing anything else. When you work as a doctor, you realize how much sacrifices you need to make, and sometimes that requires sacrificing time with your family and your loved ones. And if you have other passions, that would be very hard to do. Another piece of advice is don't do it because your parents want you to do it or your family members want you to do it, because eventually, if you end up not liking it, you're going to end up resenting them. Wealth is assets minus your debt. And unfortunately, a lot of doctors have a lot of debt that they need to pay off. So it takes them longer to build wealth, and they enter the workforce later to be able to build up that wealth. And if anyone has read the book, The Millionaire Next Door, you'll understand this concept very well, because they use physicians as an example of people who earn high incomes but aren't necessarily wealthy. I hope that was interesting and I hope it was helpful. I think a lot of people have this misconception that all doctors are so rich and make so much money. And yes, doctors have the potential to earn a very high income, but I don't think the medical profession is the only way to earn a high income. And there are definitely other professions that are very highly paid without the long years of education that they have to sacrifice in order to eventually achieve that high income. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And if you found this content valuable, please like and subscribe. I make content about investing in your health and self-development to reach your fullest and highest potential. Hope you are all doing well. Please take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.